Hello, welcome to NJW 1967. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Vantrue F1 Motorcycle dash cam. We're going to do a bit of an unboxing on that firstly and take you through what it's made up of. So stay tuned.
Good afternoon guys. So first of all, apologies, I did the unboxing video, bit of a problem there. Realised after 10 minutes of talking to myself that the camera wasn't actually switched on, but I'm not a pro at this, but anyway, so it is unboxed. Right, so we'll start with the box anyway. Nice box, very well packaged. You know, as you can see, good quality. We've got a box here what the accessories came in. Got another box here which carries leads and a handlebar clamp, and then another box with the main essentials in it. So just to summarise the equipment that's in the box. So first of all, we've got some 3M branded tapes for mounting the devices, for cameras, spares, and notwithstanding that, they've already got some of the components have already got it on them. So first of all, we'll take a look at the wiring loom. It's a very nicely put together piece of kit. We've got 3-pin JST waterproof connector. We've got the accessory live 12 volt. This is what switches the device on and off and tells it it's in parking mode should you wish to use that facility. We've got the 12 volt battery connection, which is your permanent live, and then we've got the black, which is the ground. So standard colours: yellow for accessory, red for live, and black for ground. We've got the instruction manual here, very comprehensive, multi-language, and yeah, it seems to show you everything that you need to know. It's quite understandable and quite legible. Nice little polishing cloth there, nice little touch. That's obviously to clean your lenses with. This is the main control unit. Quite a sturdy piece of kit to feel it. This is the SD card slot here. To remove those two screws, it's a waterproof cover, and it sits within like a holder which it clips into, and I presume this is to allow airflow through it to allow for cooling. But again, very nicely put together, not big. I would say approximately 75mm square by about 25mm deep. Yeah, but again, a very solid, nice piece of kit. Then we've got the handlebar controls, or the dashboard controls for the camera. This part contains the microphone to record when you're riding. It also has an on and off button for the camera. It's got the emergency button, and it's also got the microphone on and off, so you can mute the microphone while you're riding. Imagine these LEDs will light up in corresponding colours. There's two cameras in the kit. The first of the cameras is the 4K camera. As you can see, the 4K camera is equipped with a what looks like a coaxial connection. This is a shielded connection, obviously, because it has to pass quite a huge amount of data down it to the control unit, and it's got to be capable of carrying the 4K signal. This is the rear camera, the 1080p rear camera, which has got a 4-pin connector on it. I can't really tell how many of those connections are actually working, but or what are connected, because obviously I can't see them. But solid aluminium billet, very nice, metal brackets, Allen screws for adjustment, very nice. Two little tools in the kit here. mini screwdriver and a little 3mm Allen key for adjusting your cameras. This screwdriver is obviously for getting into your SD card here. Spare bag of screws, some self-tapping screws which look the correct size for screwing the camera down for mounting it, and some spare tiny little screws in there as well, which I would imagine are for the SD card lid because they look like they're really easy to lose. Then you've got a spare cable for your 4K camera. This would be the extension cable that will go from the front to the rear of the bike should you mount this at the rear. And then we've got the extension cable for the 1080p rear camera. So all in all, guys, yeah, quite a nice looking piece of kit, this Vantrue F1 dash cam. It's not without, you also get your bundle of tie wraps with it. Every handyman's favourite is a tie wrap. You can't beat a zip tie. All well and good. So in the next video you're going to see some slides of me fitting this camera to my 1250 GS BMW, and well, I hope you enjoy it. And if you've got any questions, please ask them in the descriptions at the bottom in the questions. If you like the video, give it a like, and if you want to subscribe for more of this sort of tech stuff, automotive tech stuff, my channel will be going forward for anything motorcycle, car related tech. I may even get into some household tech stuff as well, but mainly motor related because that's where my passion is. But so we'll leave it there for now, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this little unboxing video, or rather unboxed video. I'm sorry about that, but like I say, I thought it was recording, but unfortunately it wasn't. Yeah, there'll be more to come as soon as we get the video prepared, and you'll see it fitted to the 1250 GS. The final part of the video will be some live footage from the bike, so we'll get that added to the video, so you'll see it right the way through, from the unboxing to the fitting on the bike, and then me testing it out on the open roads. So hope you've had a good day, guys, and we'll see you soon.
So now we'll move on to the installation part of the Vantrue F1 dashcam. We'll be fitting this to my BMW 1250 GS. The cable routing is fairly simple. Most of the cables that I've gone from front to rear, they route down the left hand side of the bike. As you can see, I've already prepared the bike by removing the panels. Move to the rear of the bike now. Underneath the number plate holder you'll see two TX30 torque screws. Remove these screws. If you pull the section backwards out the tongue, it will then hinge down. You can remove the indicators from their plugs and take this piece away. Next we'll move on to the rear camera mounting. I've mounted the rear camera behind where the reflector goes in the tailpiece. We'll go on to the reflector area later. When you've got the piece off, remove the reflector with the two M5 nuts and proceed to bore a 30mm hole in the back of the tailpiece. When you get the hole in the back, looking from the rear, it will look like this. We can then move on to mounting the camera. The camera needs a small piece of plastic, ABS or something like that to sit underneath the camera mount. This raises it up to just to the right height so that the camera can see through the hole correctly. The spacer used is about 3mm thick and can be secured in place with the camera with some small self-tapping screws. The screws can't be seen. They will, the heads are inside the tailpiece unit, and they will go out underneath behind the number plate mounting, so it's quite discreet. So now we'll move on to the rear reflector. So rather than damaging and modifying the existing reflector so the bike could be put back to standard at a later date if required, I used a piece of clear acrylic. This was taken from an old number plate, and I formed it to the same shape as the existing reflector. It will be adhered to the bike with double-sided VHB tape and finished off with a reflective surface, which is also a 3M product, and you'll see when it's done it looks quite effective, and I think this is quite a neat feature. Just be mindful when you buy the system, you will need to obtain a micro SD card that suits the system, and make sure it's suitable for 4K recording. It needs to be U3 A2 compatible. I fitted a 512GB card to ensure I had plenty of storage space. So as you can see, the control unit fits very neatly under the seating area of the GS1250. There's also a nice channel that runs along the left hand side for the cabling to go into. I used a length of braided sleeving to protect the cables that go from front to rear. Before adhering any of the products to a plastic surface, I use an IPA cleaner, alcohol-based cleaner, to ensure there's no grease and oil left on the plastics. This will also give you a fantastic bond with the surface, and it should outlive the life of the product. Here we can see the cable route that runs underneath the ECU plug, then takes the path of the main loom through the wiring channel. This cabling was easily fed through underneath the tank via the wiring channel without having to remove any of the major components like the fuel tank. The cables within the braided sleeving neatly route down the left hand side of the bike in the existing wiring channels alongside the bike's loom. As you can see from the pictures, there's plenty of areas in OEM positions to secure the loom and to fasten it up and keep it neat and tidy. So for the front camera mounting, I used a commercially available camera bracket. This provides a very stable mounting for the camera, and also the view of the lens is excellent from this position. There's nothing in the way, there's nothing sort of in its field of vision. There's a few different manufacturers for these types of brackets for the GS online for around the £30 mark. It really does make the job a lot easier and takes a lot of guesswork out of installation. Next we'll take a look at the Vantrue app. This is available for both iOS and Android systems, and I'll run through all the basic settings of that so you've got a good idea of what it does. So when you've installed the Vantrue app on your mobile phone, this is the pages that it will first bring you to when you open it up. This is a little tutorial. It just runs you through the basic settings on the app and the permissions that you need to allow. Next is the Wi-Fi connection to the Falcon F1. This is a fairly simple procedure. Like most Wi-Fi systems, it requires a password. So you select your device and enter the default password for the F1, which is 12345678. After installation, I'd recommend that you change this password to your own password that you can remember. Next, we'll move on to connecting to the powered up system. In the next screen, you'll see a prompt to add a device. Select Falcon series and select F1. Your Falcon F1 will then be connected to your mobile device and you will see a live view. I'll now run through a few of the little menus within the system. The bottom button brings you into the gallery. This is where you can view all your footage that you've taken and play it back or save it to your mobile device. This is another great feature of the Vantrue app, which overlays with Google Maps, allowing you to see the corresponding journey with the video included. Here we're just scrolling through the various screen options that are available. Next up is an overview of the main settings menu. As you can see, there's a vast number of settings in this. Most of them can be left at default settings. There is some that you might want to tailor to suit your situation. I'll leave this running through the settings for you to have a look at. You might be able to pick up on some of the changes I've made. One being the G sensor, which I found to be too sensitive on its standard settings. Next up is some on-the-road footage. The first camera we'll look at is the 1080p rear-facing camera. As you can see from the recording, the weather conditions weren't perfect for this. It was a little bit overcast, not the brightest of days, but the video footage is very legible and still very good quality for the rear facing 1080p camera. As you can see in the legend at the bottom of the screen, you can see the data that the unit is recording whilst the video is in progress. It shows the date, the time, the registration number of the vehicle and your GPS position at the time. It's also an option, should you wish to do so, you can have the current speed displayed as well. So just to summarise the rear camera, the 1080p, I would say it's more than adequate and fit for purpose for the job it's doing. Everything's very legible on it. The image stabilisation is good to say that we're travelling at speed, and overall I would say yeah, very good. We'll next move on to the 4K front camera and get a view of how good that is. Now we move on to the 4K front camera. As you can see, this is a whole new world of vision. The 4K camera gives a fantastic image. It's very clear, it's very bright, and image stabilisation is excellent. So to summarise my experience of the Vantrue F1 dashcam system for motorcycles, in terms of a motorcycle dashcam system, I can't really fault it. The 4K recording is outstanding, the 1080p is more than adequate, and if you want something to record your journeys, maybe you want to look back on certain areas that you've gone to, you can do this. The 512GB SD card will give you approximately 34 hours of footage. A 256GB will give you 17 hours, a 128GB will give you 8.5 hours, and a 64GB card will give you 4 hours of footage. Just be mindful that when the card's full, it will overlap and re-record over the top of previous footage. So if there's anything you want to save that before it gets to that point. In terms of installation and usage, I'd also give this a thumbs up. I found it very easy to fit. I found it very easy to use, and I think the overall design of the product is very good. From a price point, in comparison to other 4K motorcycle dashcam systems, the Vantrue F1 is really leading the market here. Its currently retail price is £319.99. There's currently an £80 voucher saving on that on Amazon at the moment, which brings it into a very, very competitive price bracket of less than half of other leading competitors. I will leave a link in the description below to the product. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe if you wish, and hit the bell icon for further updates and more automotive tech products from NJW 1967. And don't forget, any questions, please ask in the comments down below, and I'll be only too glad to answer any questions you've got on the product. Cheers guys.